I know. John gives me the opportunity to do a couple of commercials. So I'll do my commercials, then I'll have John come on up. Let's see, just a reminder, we are closed on Monday for Patriots Day. Tuesday, April 28th, the Merriam School has asked some volunteers to come help them with Community Day, so they were looking for volunteers from the Senior Center. If that's something that you're interested in, please sign up at the front desk. It'll be the 28th, only for about an hour in the morning, and you'll be assigned to a group of K through 6-year-olds and maybe read a story and help with the craft. So we're looking for about 28 volunteers, so we need more. So if you can help us out, that would be great. And then on April 30th, our Friends group, the Honoring Excellence Committee, is putting together. Meredith Bergman will be coming in. She's a famous Boston sculptor. So it's going to be a fabulous program, and that'll be April 30th. Again, if you're interested, please sign up. I'm going to hand it over to John. Thank you so much. He actually was here early. He wanted me to make note. He was here early today. So.
You know, I was admiring these ice cream cones earlier. I didn't realize they'd be right inside one. I'm going to move over. That's a good suggestion. I just wanted to be near this new podium, which was pretty cool. But anyways, as mentioned, the Drive with John program is something we've been doing here since 2018. I was talking to James McCrae, who cooked the best $3 breakfast in town earlier. And he said that, yeah, he did a great job. He always does a great job. There was a waiting list, apparently, so hopefully you're in a valued seat, so I'm glad you're able to come. But he said that, 5 years ago, it was packed like this, and then it slowed down, and then he said, now we're back to a wait list. So great program that he does. As I mentioned last time, he does a lot for his community, and breakfast is just something he does extra. So thanks for that. We have a lot going on right now in Acton here. We have town meeting. The warrant is everything you need to know about a town meeting. We published that on our website on, I think it was Tuesday night. Town meeting is going to be Monday, May 4th, and it will go a second night to Tuesday, May 5th. There are 38 articles on this warrant, so it's a pretty good, I think that's a pretty normal town meeting. There are no citizen petitions for the first time in several years that I can recall, which maybe that's a good sign. I'm not sure what that means, but we'll take it. There are some important things. I'm going to go through each article in a few minutes to try to give you any information you have, give you a chance to ask questions. There was a forum last night about 2 of the big projects on the warrant, so hopefully you check that out. If not, thanks to ActonTV, it'll be available online. I should mention Mark Ducey from ActonTV, Executive Director over there. Thank you for your help broadcasting and helping us communicate with the community. This is being broadcast live, so anything you say will be heard by others, not in this room, and recorded and published on YouTube live. So other things going on before we get to town meeting. We had a really cool event on Wednesday night. This community, and I said this the other night, is that local government is really run by volunteers, right? The chief elected officials are volunteers. Everyone that is on all the committees and boards are volunteers. And that's really what drives what we do here. This facility gets a lot of support from volunteers. And Wednesday night was the Francis Faulkner Volunteer of the Year Award. 5 residents were recognized for their contributions to the community. Actually, one of them is here, right here. Greg Jarbo was one of them. Congrats, Greg. The Acton Select Board, I think it's one of the more fun things that they do is they get to recognize a colleague. One member of the Select Board is here with us, Alyssa Nickel, over there in the corner, and we have. I think the event went really well, and there's some pictures online. I hope you check them out. And volunteering is really what makes this place go. So keep up the good work. We have other projects that are going on in town. I usually try to give a quick project update. Kelly's Corner is one that I often talk about. They are pouring sidewalks again, which is good news. They took 3 months off from doing that, or maybe 4 months off from doing that, but they're back to pouring sidewalks. They're supposed to be planting trees and bushes soon. The street islands are in. What's that? I think there was a compliment about the street islands. I agree. They are beautiful, and they're going to do their intended purpose, which is traffic calming. They're not, even though they're beautiful, they're not for beautification. They're actually designed to slow down people. As much as people want to get to where they're going, as a local government and as a town manager, I want people to drive slower, and because that's safer. So if it takes you an extra 2 minutes to get down here, I'm okay with that. I hope you are too, because if you're driving slower, then the whole world is a little bit safer in Acton. So traffic calming measures are going to be not just the street islands, but there'll be line striping everywhere, bike lanes, cross hatches for all different types of things. There'll be street trees, there'll be pedestrian light poles. It's really going to make you want to slow down, and I think you'll enjoy it. Other projects, the dog park, they're cranking away over there. McManus Manor, they're getting very close too. That's the big housing development across from the public safety facility. You wouldn't know it because you don't go up there, but we also are finishing a pretty cool project at in the police station. When the building was built 25 years ago or so, it was built with 6 women's locker room spots, right? I don't know that there were too many women on the department back then, but we have a lot of women on the department now, so we actually doubled the size of our women's locker room. And that was a bigger project than it sounds. We actually had to move a lot of stuff around, and we're just finishing that up. So not something that you'll see, but something that you'll benefit from, because we'll continue to have a diverse and very responsive police department. Other projects that are going on that you may not see is we're putting a tight tank at the West Acton Fire Station. Why, do you say? Because, yes, that's another good question. What is a tight tank? Basically, when they wash trucks and do other things, the water and the soap that's in the water comes off, and instead of just going straight into the sewer, it goes into a tight tank, which is an intermediary place where it stays, and all the bad stuff settles there. And then the good stuff goes to the system, and then it gets pumped out. I mean, that's a very non-scientific way of describing it, but I think I did okay. So we're doing that because the EPA and the DEP told us we had to, and it's a good idea. So we have that there. We're excited about some other changes happening. Our rec department recently, and maybe some of you know, kids that go to our summer programs, we have some new offerings this year with slightly different approach, a little bit of a STEM. People know what STEM is: science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So it's going to be still a lot of fun and still a lot of running around and being kids, but they're going to try to work in a couple STEM type activities to make it a little bit more enriching. So we're excited about that. I want to get to town meeting because that's really what's on my mind. But I have a couple special guests that I wanted to have discuss some things with you first. First, we have 2 members of our very dynamic library team here, Olivia and Anshu. And they have an announcement, or maybe 2, about something going on at the library. Come on up. There you go. Yeah, just get as close as
Close
you
to
can.
it. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I want to tell you about something fun and colorful, something you'll want to experience for yourself. Imagine if Easter, the first day of spring, and a big neighborhood picnic all came together. And then someone added bright, cheerful colors everywhere. Well, that's Holi, one of India's most exciting festivals. It celebrates spring, renewal, and the triumph of goodness and positivity. On Holi, people gather outdoors wearing white clothes. Music and laughter fills the air, and the colors appear. The pinks, the yellows, the blues, and the greens, they swirl through the air, and everyone is smiling, laughing, and covered in color. It's one of the few events where getting a little messy is actually the part of fun. And here's the best part. You can join in however you like. Watch the festivities, enjoy the music, taste the delicious Indian food, or jump right into the colors yourself. I'm Anshu, and she's Olivia from the Acton Memorial Library, and we are thrilled to invite you to our 4th annual Holi celebration in the library lawns on May 2nd from 1 to 3 p.m. We'll have Bollywood music, a choreographer, and a traditional dholi player. We'll have Indian food truck and ice cream from Westside Creamery. Come, share laughter, enjoy great food, meet wonderful people, and celebrate the simple joy of being together. And who knows, you might just leave a little colorful than you arrived. We are leaving some flyers and some bookmarks for a lot of you. Please, and we are looking forward to you coming for this Holi festival. And Olivia is going to share some more details about the other programs that we are hosting.
Thank you, Anshu. Holi's a really fun event. You guys should really come out. But we have a whole lot of other stuff happening at the library. Right now we're doing an author talk series. So we have 3 different authors come in. They're going to talk about their books that they've been recently published, talk about their writing process, talk about what inspired them to write these great stories. One of them, if anyone knows, the Acton 250 group. One of them was sponsored by Acton 250. Another was sponsored by Pinehawk. So we have some really great authors coming in. The first one is going to be at the end of April 29th. And I have some flyers for that as well if anyone would like more information. And you do not need to read the book ahead of time to attend. You can just show up and have fun and ask questions and talk to some local authors. So it'll be really great. Besides that, we've got crafts every month. We have teaching tech every month. If everyone wants to look, we have like a bunch of different tech classes that we do every month. We cover different topics. Next month will be Google Slides. So if anyone wants to know how to make a PowerPoint using their Gmail account, stop by. We'll be going over that. But besides that, we've got a whole lot of really fun stuff happening at the library. So stop on by. Everything's free.
Thank you, Anshu and Olivia. I went to the Holi celebration 2 years ago. I can't remember what I was wearing, but I know it was covered in different colors when I left. They actually have it almost looks like a fire extinguisher, but it sprays out colored powder. And it all comes off, but it's a lot of fun, and the colors everywhere. It's a lot of fun, so I encourage you to check that out. Speaking of events, this is a pretty important weekend for Acton, and particularly with its role in our country's beginning of our country. There's a historical society is having an event on Sunday from 2 to 4 at the Hosmer House. You can come and learn about our role in history and see some of the artifacts. That's Sunday, but leading up to Sunday, tonight, starting at happy hour and going till 10 o'clock, the Dirigible Brewery in Littleton is going to have their 3rd release of Isaac Davis Brown Ale. So people say a lot of things about different communities and what they're doing, but not too many communities have their own beer. So I think we're really out in front here. The 250 committee has done a great job doing all kinds of things, but one of the cool things they've done is to collaborate with a local brewery to make a pretty good tasting brown ale called Isaac Davis Brown Ale. So check that out. It's available at some local stores too if you can't get there tonight. Then of course there's the Patriots Day Spirit event at Saturday from 1 to 3 at the Faulkner House on High Street. The Robbins Ride, Saturday 18th from 5 to 6. And of course the Isaac Davis Trail March at 5:30 a.m. on the 19th. And a lot of events to do and keep track of. So hopefully you have some time to check those out, and hopefully the weather cooperates. Yeah, so the march, that's the march on Sunday. It's the Minutemen are recreating the historic March to Concord along the original trail marked the Line of March. All are welcome to participate. The route starts at the Isaac Davis Homestead, 39 Hayward Road. You can park at the high school. And then you proceed to the town green, and it ends at the Old North Bridge in Concord. The town will provide transportation back, so you don't have to walk both ways. So check that out. I walked a little bit last year. I didn't go the whole way, but I encourage you to do that if you're interested. So a lot of cool things happening here. So I wanted to get to town meeting. Everybody planning on going? Everybody thinking about going? It's a big night for us. If you live in a city council meets every 2 weeks or every week. That's the legislative body. They make big decisions all the time, right? If you live in a town, you go one time a year, maybe two in certain years, to make big legislative decisions. That's to change bylaws. That's to approve budgets, and other really important things that you get to act as legislators. You don't have to run for office. You just need to show up, and you're a legislator. It's a pretty cool thing. So I encourage you to take advantage of that opportunity. So this year, as I said, we have 38 articles. The first several are financial articles, the budgets, the school district, capital projects. Some notable ones are the town hall HVAC project, where we're replacing an aged system with a new one and making some other minor improvements as part of a big renovation. We're getting $1 million grant to offset that work. Another one that you all have probably been following a little bit is the DPW project. We're coming back to town meeting this year with a new concept based on feedback we received from the community, and we're asking for design funds to continue that effort. So there's going to be information about that. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. School district assessments, those are typical every year. They work together with us. They tell us what it's going to cost to run the schools the next year, and the people vote on it. Then we get some Community Preservation Committee recommendations. Those come in at Article 10. That's all the project the Community Preservation Committee thought we should invest in as a community. So there's things like the Town Hall Clock Tower, which they're recommending that we invest in. And there's some other projects that are listed in the warrant. We are also going to be establishing an opioid stabilization fund to deposit funds that we received from the opioid settlements that you may be aware of. Attorney General's office helped with that. We're buying a piece of land. We're proposing to buy a piece of land on Taylor Road. 46 Taylor Road is 5.7 acres of. It's currently, if you drive on Taylor Road, you'll see there's 2 for sale signs. It's the one in between those 2 that's vacant land. It's wooded land. It backs up to the Arboretum. That's on the warrant for asking for authorization to purchase that. It's going to be $1.4 million, and we need about $45,000 for closing costs and other things like that. So that's going to be funded through the CPA open space funds, and it needs 2/3 support from town meeting for us to move forward with that transaction. Then we start to get into some economic development things, and our economic development director, Patricia Costa, is here. So I'm going to briefly mention them, but I'm going to invite Patricia up to say a few words at this point in the program. But let me run through them. So the first is we're proposing to do a TIF. Does anybody know what a TIF is? Okay, tax increment financing agreement. It's one of the few tools that we have as a community to try to incentivize companies to invest in our commercial properties in town. So basically what it is there's an existing building, and a company agrees to invest $50 million in that building, which will then add value to that property. And we have an agreement that says, okay, the value that you're adding to that property, we'll give you a tax break on that added value for a certain period of years. And that's an incentive for you to invest here instead of investing in Westford or Littleton or Boston, for example. And so we have a proposal to do that with Insulet. Insulet is an international company that has their headquarters here in North Acton, and they're a rapidly growing business with a very cool product called an Omnipod, which is an insulin monitoring and injection system that you put right on your arm or anywhere on your body, and you can have it on there for a few days, and it keeps your levels regulated, and it actually injects you with medicine when you were supposed to get the medicine. So instead of having to get needles and all the stuff that you used to have to do, it does it all for you. You can watch it on your phone and keep track of it. Your doctor can actually check in and make sure your levels are okay. It's a really innovative product, and they're doing it right here in Acton. They have actually 3 or 4 assembly lines where they're running almost 24 hours a day, mostly with robots, but a lot of people too, making these pods that are shipped all over the world. Anyways, they're looking to expand. We think it's in our best interest for them to expand right here in Acton, so we're proposing a TIF. That will be proposed, and the town meeting has to support that for us to finalize the agreement with them, because, and so that's going to be that's one of the articles as well. We're also proposing several zoning changes to try to make it easier to do business in town. For many years, we've heard from a business that said, "Oh, we were trying to come into town, and then we got hung up with a couple of these little requirements that we don't have to deal with in other towns, or we want to expand our business, but because we're in a zone that doesn't allow it, we can't expand our business, so we actually have to move to another town." So little things like that. The Economic Development Committee, who the chair is here, Patty Sutherland, the co-chair, they had a plan last year to try to knock a bunch of those off and bring them to town meeting for you all to support. So Patricia and Patty and many other members of the community have been working on that. We also have some zoning articles related to non-conforming lots. I think I talked about that here before, and I explained it, but basically right now you can't add an addition of more than 25% without going to the Board of Appeals and getting a special permit. And we're changing that to make the threshold not as strict, because a lot of people just want to add a little room to their house, and it's a lot of work for a homeowner and a lot of expense for a homeowner to go through that process for something that really isn't going to impact the neighborhood as much as maybe people thought it would 50 years ago when the zoning was created. What else do we have on the warrant? A bunch of things that we do every year, standard approvals for things. One thing that I know Mark likes, there's an article towards the end of the warrant where we're authorizing a long-term contract with ActonTV. It's actually, ActonTV gets their funding from the town. We get the funding that we give them from cable licensing fees, and we sign a contract with them, and they provide awesome services to us. Because of Mass General Law, we can't enter a contract longer than 3 years without town meeting's approval. So that's all it is. It's on the consent agenda because we don't think it's very controversial, but I just wanted to give a plug to ActonTV. Yeah, and a round of applause. I think this is a good time to break and hear from Patricia about some of the economic development initiatives that she's been working on. Patricia Costa.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. It's always a pleasure to come to the Senior Center and meet you all and connect to active members and former members of the Economic Development Committee. We have here Patty Sutherland, we have Gary Phillips and Greg Jarbo. And today, I just thought it would be a good moment to talk to you about these proposed changes in zoning bylaws that are part of the town warrant for the May 4th and 5th town meeting. You probably know that as part of our attempts to make Acton more attractive and friendly to businesses, we conducted a study last year, and by this time last year it was almost approved. It was a study conducted by a consulting group, RKG, called Strategic Economic Development Action Plan. And this study pointed out some actions that the town could implement to make Acton more attractive to businesses. And we basically tried to draw in on these recommendations and these goals to put together some proposed changes in the zoning bylaws that would reproduce these goals. And these proposed changes, I can simplify them or synthesize them in two main groups. One group that is focused on the changes in use of the parcels, and another that consists of changes in the signage and the way the businesses communicate with the community. So, for example, when it comes to changes in use, we are proposing to bring services and retail stores to areas that are traditionally industrial. And this is important because when we have a concentration of industrial activities, the staff working at the industry, they need services, they need restaurants, and having these services close to them will make it easier for everyone who works in these areas. It's also important to think about the perspective of having, for example, an industrial activity and their showroom or a storefront where they can sell what they manufacture close to them. So this is one of the reasons, these are some of the reasons why we proposed this flexibilization, because we all agree that it will be beneficial to the industrial activity. Another proposed change in use consists of bringing transportation services to two key areas in town. The limited business that we call, you can think of it basically as Great Road, and also to the industrial areas, not to the industrial, to the office parks, okay? Office parks and limited businesses, they need transportation services. So we are also proposing these changes. And these are the main changes in use. If I can synthesize them, of course, I would invite you all to read the town warrant to see all of these changes in details. And the other group would be the changes in signage, which would allow, for example, for the businesses along a Great Road, adjacent to the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail, to have a signage facing the rail trail, which would help attract bikers and users of the trail to the plazas, to the stores. We are also trying to accommodate the dimensions of different logos and brands of different businesses to signage dimensions that are appropriate to them. So our current bylaws do not allow, for example, do not allow a business to request an increase in the height of the signage, which can represent a limit to many businesses that have, for example, a logo that is more vertically oriented. So all these changes, we understand that will be beneficial to businesses, will make things easier for businesses to operate in Acton. And I would count on your support as residents, engaged residents, to read the town warrant and support these changes, because they stem from very careful analysis and assessment of what the town needs. Okay? Any questions about these proposed changes?
I have a question. It's not about the changes, but you mentioned the Bruce Freeman Trail and you mentioned signage. Are e-bikes allowed on the Bruce Freeman Trail?
Say again, bikes?
E-bikes.
Electric bikes, not that I'm aware of. We have the project that consists of renting bikes to users, right?
When the trail opened up, there used to be a sign that was very well marked on the trail, and it said no e-bikes.
Yeah, I'm gonna transfer it to John. He is aware of these.
Let's put that in the parking lot, and we'll come back to it. Any other economic development questions, Patricia, before we go?
Yeah, I'm actually not aware of the bikes, yes, but definitely integrating the users of the rail trail to the retail stores and the plazas is a very welcome measurement that we can implement in town. And this is what we are focusing on when we think about signage facing the trail.
I have a question about Insulet. I'm just curious. Are they proposing to increase their manufacturing capability in Acton?
The project is not defined yet as to what kind of activity they will increase, but we presume that it's going to be both office and manufacturing. Because Insulet has been expanding at an amazing 20% growth rate per year. So they need more space, they need more offices, they need more manufacturing space. So we can anticipate an increase in both. But the project is not concluded, the final project is not concluded yet. Yes, any other questions? So I would also like to talk to you today about something very interesting and very much awaited by the businesses established on Great Road, which is the upcoming Community Wellness Fair. I have the flyers here with the confirmed participants for this event, and I'm going to pass it around. This event is going to be held on the last Saturday of May, May 30th, at Gold's Plaza. We are going to have many interesting activities and workshops, dance, martial arts, what else? We have businesses that are going to talk about healthcare, wellness, businesses that are going to talk about financial planning. So it's wellness in its broader sense that is going to be presented to the community at this event. So I would like to invite you to participate. And it's going to be, again, the last Saturday of May from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have ActonTV as our media partner. We have Rockland Trust as our sponsor and Gold's Plaza as the host sponsor. And lots of businesses already confirmed for this event. So you're all invited to join us on this initiative. Yep, I think that's it.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you all for all the great work you're doing here. I think you use your glasses. There is not currently a restriction for e-bikes on the bike trail that I'm aware of. I just did a little bit of research and talked to some people, and there may have been at one point, but there isn't one right now. But we can look into that if it's something that's concerning you. I know that there's restrictions popping up across the country on those, but nothing here in Acton as of yet. I think I covered all the articles that are at town meeting, and now we get to the good part of this program is the questions, and I do my best to answer them. I take questions, I'll take complaints, I'll take whatever you got. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have or anything like that. So who wants to go first? Yes.
The islands that are being put in at Kelly's Corner?
Yes.
What's going to be inside those islands?
So the islands at Kelly's Corner are going to have low, easy to maintain shrubbery type things with mulch, hopefully. Hopefully the mulch will stay. But it's going to be, so there are a lot of them. I mean, as you've driven, every approach to the intersection and then even near CVS, there's a lot of them. So it's going to be additional work that we're going to have to handle, but I think it's worth it. It's going to look nice. Thank you. No trees. There'll be no trees in the middle. Just small things. Yes.
First, a comment. I voted at Town Hall for our local elections yesterday, and it was really easy, and they're really helpful. So
Thank you. Town Clerk's office does a great job.
Yep. But the other thing is, as far as traffic calming in that, when you go down Maple Street to the rail trail, and you have a lot of traffic calming, it narrows down and stuff like that. So if you go off 27 on the one way to the rail trail, I saw an accident the other day. A woman went into the stop sign. It just is very awkward looking to get around sometimes, and there's only lane for practically one car going left or
Are you talking
straight.
about in front of the commuter rail station?
I'm talking about at the beginning of the rail trail on the Maynard side of the commuter station.
So, okay, yeah, so that's the Assabet River Rail Trail. I mean, just for context, we were talking about the Bruce Raymer Rail Trail. We're lucky to have two in town. Not many towns have any. We have two. So the Assabet River Rail Trail starts right across from the train station, and you can go that way towards Maynard. Yeah, that's an intersection that we're hoping to improve. As you know, the town, in 2018 or 19, we bought that building that used to be Gordon Richards Concrete Forming Company. We bought it for the parking lot. We've since leased it to the Acton Food Pantry, who did an amazing job renovating it. Now it's a really cool looking building that's serving the community with food security needs or support. We also want to do the parking lot and circulation over. We just don't have the funding. And when we do that, we're going to do that intersection over as well. So
The other concern is there's so many, I was there on a Wednesday, and there's so many cars coming around the food pantry, and they come out on the one-way part right in front of the rail trail as well.
Yep. Yeah, we'll look at that. I appreciate you mentioning that. The food pantry just opened this spring, or this recently, so it's a relatively new condition for people. Thank you. Anything over here? Yes.
Idea when the West Acton Fire Station is going to reopen?
The West Acton Fire Station is currently not being staffed with people on a daily basis. It is staffed temporarily when there's a big storm or something coming up. There is not a plan at this time to put staff back into it, but we're going to evaluate that. We can't put anyone in there right now because it's doing that construction project I mentioned. And once that's completed, we're going to take another look at our staffing levels and determine whether it makes sense to go back to 4 stations. Over the last year and a half now almost, we've been trying different deployment strategies with our fire department. If you recall, last February, we actually went down to only operating out of 2 stations. We just operated out of the new North Acton Fire Station and then the South Acton station. That worked out pretty well. Running out of 2 stations worked out pretty well. The only issue with that was the South Acton station wasn't built to house that many firefighters, while the North Acton Fire Station was, but the South Acton wasn't, so we had to spread people out further. So then we went and spread out to South Acton and West Acton and the North, and then later this fall we switched, and now we're currently operating out of the North Station, out of the Center Station, and out of the South Station. Kind of in a line right down Route 27, gives us pretty good access to every part of town, and we're not currently staffing the West Acton Fire Station. So if you live right next to it, I understand that you'd rather have people in there every day, but I think what we've found is that spreading people out, which in the past we've had 2 people at each station, it really doesn't, it's not conducive to effective responses. Yes, you can get 1 or 2 people there quicker, potentially, but you really need more than that to effectively respond to an emergency. And so that's what we found, is that putting people in larger groups allows them to get places relatively at the same amount of time, but be ready to go instead of having to wait. They have to wait anyways for that second crew to get there. So it's worked out pretty well. And we're going to continue to evaluate that. We'll present it to the select board. I was hoping to do it this spring, but it's looking like this summer at this point. Thank you for the question. Yes?
Can you give any update on Aldi's or any other things coming into town, like next to Stop and Shop? There's some vacancies there.
Yeah, so questions about new establishments opening up. I'll do my best, and I'll kick it to Patricia if I missed any. But so starting down here, we have Aldi, which you saw the sign went up last month, so that you know they're coming this spring. There's going to be a dollar store that's going to be in the same plaza right next to that. Heading back up the other way through Kelly's Corner, there's going to be at the Stop and Shop building, there's going to be a dentist office on the side facing the school campus, which is what's at the Mass Ave side. And then on the Main Street side, there's going to be a Jersey Mike's and something else to be determined. What else do we have? The old McDonald's building is just waiting for the project to be done, and then people are going to be banging down the doors to have a restaurant in there. I'm telling you, just wait. Just wait. Just wait. I know, but it's looked horrible for the last 25, and I think we fixed it. It looks beautiful out there. The sidewalks, they actually did some loam and seed in front of it earlier this week. It really looks nice. When that pedestrian plaza over there to the right of it, it's gonna really pop. The old Bueno Isano building, the person that owns that actually recently got permission to do more with that. For 30 years, the building, you weren't allowed to use the second story for one reason or another, and apparently now they'll be able to, which gives them more flexibility to do more with that. So hopefully once that's improved, I think that'll help too, because it kind of feels like with the Verizon being sort of a back office operation, nothing really happens there. And with no burrito shop there, it feels kind of empty. So I think having the tutoring business is providing some more vitality in the White House. And then if we can get something in Bueno Isano, I really think the place will be jumping. So just wait. I know you've been patient. I'm just asking for a little bit more. And people often say, oh, geez, I wish that business wasn't going out of business, or I wish they weren't closing. But one thing I would encourage you to do, and I know it's very convenient to buy things from Amazon, and I know it's, but every time you get a pack of light bulbs from Amazon that you could have got from a local place, that's making it harder for these local places to meet their margins. So I think it's fine if you're okay with not having a lot of businesses in town. I think shop Amazon as much as you want. But if it's important to you, find a way to shop locally. It may cost 30 cents more, but I think it's worth it. I do my best to do that too. There are certain things that you can't get, and that's why an online shopping is great for that. But things you can get, just go down, maybe just grab it on your way home one day. That's my suggestion. Yes, over here.
Any prospective tenants for both TJ Maxx and Crossroads?
Crossroads is closing after 30-plus years. Today is their last day. So that's another example of a restaurant that I think had a really good run. I don't think they were doing as well in the last few years, and unfortunately they're not able to stay in business. So we don't want that to happen. So frequent your local restaurants too. We don't know what's going to go in there. Matt McGovern and his company own that whole plaza now. So it's really going to be a matter of what they're up to. Yeah, so the Shiva Bazaar is a store that's there now. They're relocating to Great Road where the wagon wash is, which is kind of near on Great Road, further down. And then the dollar store up there is staying there for the time being, as far as we know. I've heard rumors otherwise, but I don't think that they're true. But Facebook is not Facebook. That's a good time for me to mention that. Just because it was on Facebook doesn't mean that it's true. I think we can go with the assumption that most of it isn't true. It's just what one person heard someday, and a lot of times it isn't accurate. Maybe there's portions of it are accurate, but it's usually just the portions that they want to highlight, and the rest of it isn't accurate. But that's the beauty of Facebook, is you can really manipulate the public by just saying a little bit instead of saying the whole thing. So it's a dangerous place to be. So that's why you come here, right? You come here. I do my best to give you the information that I have. We also use Facebook too. We try to put information out there to try to primary source it if we can, but that doesn't usually get as much attention as comments that are much more interesting. So I get it. It's also fun, right? It's fun to look at Facebook, so I get that. But if you want the real information, call me, email me, text me, stop by and see me. Any other questions? Yes. Gould's Plaza. Yes, so Patricia mentioned that she's working on an event there meant to activate that place, get people to remember that it's there, to get to go there. There are no specific businesses that we're aware of that are moving in there, but we know that the businesses that are there need some company. If there's vacant storefronts next to you, it's one mark against you. So we really need to get some interest in getting some people in those plazas. What else do we have going on? Red Sox are, it's only April. Everybody relax. It's only April. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. It's a long season. It's, if they're not doing well in June, then you can get worried. But April, they're just still finding their bearings. I guess that's all. Have a good weekend, everybody. As I said, I guess we're not going to see each other again until town meeting, so we'll see you there. And if you have any questions in the meantime, please reach out. Thanks for coming.